Welcome to Speed Round Sunday on the Parenting Roundabout podcast, where we share a mini episode from our past for your weekend listening pleasure. We'll be back tomorrow with a brand new episode.
Today's question is, did you have a curfew when you were growing up? And do your kids have one? I will say for myself that I think I probably did have a curfew growing up, though I can't remember what it was. But as for my kids, at the time, I mean, this is like a plus of having kids with no actual social life, is that you don't have to worry about that. They're home all the time. They're home watching the Disney Channel. They're not going out. They're not doing things. And sometimes you feel a little bad about that. And then sometimes you think, well, but I don't have to worry about a curfew. So it was never an issue for us.
Nice.
So, How about you, Catherine? Do your kids have a curfew? Did you have one?
I did, and my daughter does. And in both cases, it was kind of tied to the driver's license restriction. So, when I was growing up, you couldn't drive after midnight. And I believe it's the same here. So, and I always tell her I want her to be home. I mean, it's more like 11 that I want her home by. But in general, I don't want it to be midnight so that you're racing home to get here at the last second. Yeah. So it needs to be well before the actual law says, so that you get home at a I don't want her rushing home. Is my point. So
right, that's good. How about you, Nicole? You have a story about curfews, I hear.
Yeah, well, interestingly, so I had a curfew growing up, but for many, many years in my community that I grew up in, we had a town siren that went off at 9 p.m. every night.
And by town siren, you mean like a loud noise and not like a sexy lady that was... No. Okay, just clarifying, because that could have to do with curfews too.
No. Like a siren, like a noise, like a whistle.
Okay.
I think we even called it a whistle, but it was so loud. It was like, and the whole town could hear it, and it went up at 9 o'clock, and every kid had to be inside by 9. No, they didn't have to be, but when we were younger, that was kind of like the rule. You have to be in the house by the time
that's handy.
The siren goes off. So, and that came from the mine, and I'm not sure why they ever did that. Maybe it was a shift change or something. But anyway, and then so my community that I live in now, they also have a curfew, which is really I just thought that was an old school thing. But we have a curfew, but it's only on Thursday nights.
Huh.
Yes, it's the weirdest thing. Well, it's tied to market night that we have on Thursday nights in our community. So they shut down Main Street and all sorts of vendors come out on a Thursday night.
Oh.
And it's heavily, there's a lot of security around and lots of people and such. But every teenager has to be gone from downtown, and basically the whole area has to be void of teenagers by 9 o'clock.
The whole area has to be void of teenagers.
It has to be voided of teenagers.
So if they didn't have that event, they wouldn't have a curfew. If there was a Thursday where they didn't host that thing.
Well, that's a good question. I'm assuming we wouldn't have a curfew, but yeah, they just, on Thursday nights when there's market night, teenagers have to be out of there. Curfew is at 9 o'clock, and they call it curfew.
Wow.
What if you're 12?
Then you can stay out all night.
I know, right?
Exactly. That's what I think is funny.
Some rough 12-year-olds in Nicole's town.
I don't know. Do they card you? I don't know. My kids who have been, I've said, I don't know. Are you going there? Maybe it was one night, later in the evening, and my daughter, I think, said, no, it's too late to go. And I said, what do you mean? It's on for another hour. And she says, no, not for me. There's a 9 o'clock curfew. So Yeah, and I'm guessing it's in the interest of public safety, which I'm not, like a bunch of teenagers congregating downtown. Isn't that kind of where you want them because you know where they are? I don't know.
I think it's in the interest of adults just wanting to do stuff without teenagers hanging around.
I think it's in the interest of old adults who get stressed when there's a group of teenagers congregating.
Yes, that's what I think it is.
Yeah. So.
Boo to them.
I know.
We say.
Anyway.
Unless they're us, in which case, they got a point.
Carrie.
Yeah.